Bits, bits, and more bits. Spiky Bits. Welcome back, Hobby Maniacs. I'm Rob Bear from SpikyBits.com, and today we've got some upgrade bits to look at. This time, we're taking a look at KF Studio that's sold by Liber Daemonica because, well, they're all friends. and everybody pretty much knows everybody over in Russia. But they sent us, well, this huge bin of upgraded bits. This is all really cool cast resin bits. Again, they're available over at Liber Daemonica, and we showed you some of their stuff in the past, and I have another video to do possibly today. Also on some new upgrades from Liber Daemonica, but this stuff is more kind of centered towards like Wolfie and Skin, and so obviously a couple legions come to mind, I suppose, that I think would really make some of your projects out there stand out because, well, nobody likes plain Space Marines. You can find all the products I'm about to show you over at LiberDaemonica.com underneath the shop tab on their site, because remember, they're a commission painting studio too, so it really isn't too much they can't do for you. They can sell you upgrade bits, they can paint your models, they can pretty much do anything out there, so just hit them up if you're looking for something potentially specific. So under the shop section here, you can see it's already shaded out, this KF Studio little lettering right there, and then it gets into all the products, and they have some bundles where it's like an upgrade set for, you know, 5 different miniatures. Again, the value in this is that it's kind of, they're super dope, really nicely cast miniatures to kind of get, or bits to make your miniatures the way you want them. The price point, well, you know, it's a boutique miniature. It's reasonable-ish in GW money, you know, but it's going to be on par with something from Forge World, both in quality, consistency, and also price point in a lot of cases. But you can get a lot of this stuff a la carte, whereas you can't really get anything for like $8 from Forge World, depending on what you're trying to do. And, you know, getting bits in general, a lot of times it's a little bit tougher, and you're going to get some finite details that may or may not be available in 3D printing currently, just depending on what kind of machines you're running, what kind of time you're running, and what kind of material you're working with, etc. I'm not going to say it can't be done, but for me, if I need something really quick, I'm just going to spend the $8 and boom, get it on my models, and, you know, keep on going. There's a ton of stuff on here. A lot of it's chainmail. They've got really dope looking upgrade heads, which are my personal favorite. Like, that just completely changes how a model looks in general. Fur tabard pelts, tabards, drapes, like cloaks, like, you know, full cloaks. I'm going to show you some of that. They've got skin suit, well, not skin suits, but skin pelts, skin, you know, cloaks. It gets a little creepy. It's a little creepy. So obviously, you know what Legion we're talking about at that point. The head, like vampire heads and all sorts of different things. So there is a literal glut of stuff on here, and you can really get super visceral or kind of heroic with like some furry type stuff too. But for cloaks, that is, not furry in general. I know what you're thinking out there, and you're like, Rob just said furry. So it's probably going to be a little difficult to tell what all that exactly was in some of the stuff I'm going to show you, but fortunately we have some painted versions of the bits here. And this particular Night Lord, you can see some of the shoulder pads, and of course a little visceral robe hanging there between his waist as well. Also some custom backpacks as well. So there's a lot of different things in here. Some very cool miniatures, and we didn't convert up any of this stuff to show you because I don't have any Chaos model. I guess I could have just used these Primaris if I really wanted to, but I went ahead and got some Space Wolves together instead to kind of show you guys as well. So this is just one example of some of the stuff you can do with these bits. And here's a look at some of the more heroic creations you can make with these same bits. Some Space Wolves, Terminators. The cloaks and the capes are really great. They work with a large variety of miniatures, from Primaris scale to Terminators. All this stuff really easily goes together and looks great on a number of miniatures here. I wanted to show you these guys too. So here's some reavers, which we also converted up some of these. And there's a lot more potential, of course, but this is just basically what we're going to show you today. So let's jump over to the paint table, and I'll actually show you some of these bits and how intricately detailed they are and how they look on current plastic kits. First up, I wanted to show you some of the capes. Now the capes are great. They got in here and they designed these to kind of go over the backpack areas. So if you do want to put an Astartes backpack on here, you won't have much issue doing it. And that's basically what they're designed for. It will work on Primaris, but it's primarily just to kind of get underneath the backpack. But you can see from the details, you know, like obviously this is very dark, you know, there's a vertebrae, lots of bone, lots of skin, and then, you know, you can just paint this as a traditional fabric. Now something else I wanted to mention, and I don't have my clippers back here, but when you get stuff like this from any bits and you need to clip these off and you're worried about like snapping all of this in half, just grab you a big thing of blue tack and put the blue tack right onto here, and then just make sure it's all flush, and then just grab your clippers and you can freely cut as long as you're holding it right across here, and it won't snap or anything like that because the blue tack absorbs a lot of the impact and the force from that piece getting cut and potentially flying off into well, no man's land, because we never find those bits, do we? And then here's another great looking cape with some really crazy crisp detail on it as well. Like I said, I mean, some 3D printers can produce this sort of quality, but it's really hard currently to find something, yeah, you know, maybe on a consistent basis to kind of duplicate this. Also, something like this would, you know, there's potential to do it on a 3D printer, but again, you know, if I'm just gotta spend like $8 to just get this and I don't have to worry about setting it up and pulling it down, you know, I'm still on board with the physical upgrade bits as well. But, you know, some people, they don't resin cast their stuff. They're just artists out there, and it's a crazy time right now in 2021 where folks can just like design things and get paid for it. They can design things, cast it, and still get paid for it. You know, KF Studio has been making stuff for quite a long time. I mean, I've known about them for about 4 years-ish now. And I've always seen their stuff and I'm like, man, they got some really good upgrade bits. But, you know, sometimes it's just all about exposure, and that's why we're here today. So these are some very chaosy, demony looking bits. Let's see if we can get that closer to the camera to focus in there. And you can tell, I mean, there's a lot going on with this. Pretty crazy. I imagine Possessed in the new Chaos book will be very, very popular, and I think they're trying to kind of do something with them. I don't even know what's going on with this head, but I love it. It's amazing. This thing is really sick. And this is a pack of 5 heads. Like I said, they're pretty affordable. I think they were like $8. This is a Super Saiyan, of course. You definitely gotta spend a whole episode or a whole round leveling up and screaming to go Super Saiyan all over your enemies. Getting back to the skin, putting on the Edgar suit. This is more of a, I guess you could call it like it's not really a cape, it's more of like a tabard, I suppose. So it's designed to go over a shoulder pad. And I'm going to show you how all this looks on plastic as well here in a minute, because we did this with the Space Wolf bits, which are just basically fur. So instead of human skin with crazy creepy faces and bony bits in it, that's just fur with fur tails and, I don't know, trim and stuff on it, I suppose. But these are very crisp and very good looking as well. So you don't have to worry about the quality, and just remember to use a little bit of blue tack when you go to clip off these gates so you don't mess up your parts. And then they've got these really cool looking heads, and I picked these heads to show you guys because I think they could be used for a lot of different things, from, of course, obviously some Chaos heads, but there's potential for Blood Angels and maybe some other chapters out there too. Just anybody that's a little angsty, you know? You know, I feel like there might be a Loyalist chapter that's just a little angsty every now and then, and has long hair as well. But, you know, like I said, depending on the background and the feel for your particular chapter, these heads might be great for something you're working on. This guy's got a lot to say. It looks like he's got some bionics in there. And I don't know which ones I've grabbed already. Definitely not that one. Oh, he's pretty. Look at him. He's a pretty boy. Who's the handsomest upgrade head in all the land? Not this dude. He's got something going on. He kind of looks a little constipated. But each and every head has a place in your army, I suppose, depending on what you want to do with it. And then these are the robes, made of flesh, of course. I mean, tabards made of flesh with some bony bits or hooks in it as well. And there's a 5-pack of these that are just incredible detail. I mean, they're very crisp casts. I would say they're on par with Forge World quality, if not better than Forge World. Because you really don't see a lot of these smaller fiddly bits from Forge World at all. So it's really hard to kind of gauge that, but these are super crisp, super clean, very crisp detail work on there, and only a little bit of cleanup required on these. So that's some of their bits on the Chaos side of things. So let's look at some more loyal style. So some of these bits you can even kind of combo together. So taking the capes, now this is the fur cape for the Space Wolves, or just fur in general, of course, and the I guess it's more of a, well, you know, you got a cape and then you got whatever this is, a throw, I suppose. I don't know the actual names of these things, but you kind of get what I'm saying here, that I guess it's more of a cloak. You got a cloak and a cape, right? So you can kind of combo them together, and like I said, they're designed to go right over the shoulder pad area. So these obviously don't have the shoulder pads because they're Primaris, but if they did, it would still probably fit, of course. And you can do some really cool posing together. It won't work with every model, but when they're sold in basically 2-packs, you can kind of get really crazy with some of your builds. I could see where a lot of people might want to trick out their Kill Team miniatures, and then of course a really heroic looking head up there too, shooting off Batman style into the distance. And then they have a pack of Wolfie style heads, so this would obviously make a well, the Reavers definitely look cool, and then some Wolfie tabards, Wolfie cape, and see how it goes flush over the backpack right there and then onto the model itself, giving it a really clean, distinctive look, of course, for that conversion and setting potential armies out from one another, of course. Painting for detail is really easy. Just dry brush it. It's super quick, super easy. Here's that guy, a little static, but sometimes you can do some stuff with it. And then there's another what is that, Makar? I don't know, Mordecai, I forget. But the chaplain looking helms right there, I think are pretty cool. And then there's another one as well, where pulled off the twofer of both the cloak and the cape right there, which I think looks really cool. So those guys are pretty neat, and that gives you an idea, a little bit better of an idea of what you can do with those bits. So that is it for this one, y'all. Thank you very much for watching our kind of unboxing / review and build of some of the great bits available, well, produced by KF Studio. Of course, you can go over to LiberDaemonica.com and pick them up for yourselves. I think they are available at some other sites too, but we work a lot with Liber Daemonica, and I think they're a great resource not only for looking at great dope painted miniatures on their Facebook page, also potentially getting a commission, but now also picking up bits from them too. They ship out in you get them in about 2 weeks from Russia, give or take, depending on the way things are going. But lately stuff's been coming a lot quicker, so I don't think you have anything to worry about there. Shipping's pretty reasonable. It seems like shipping from Europe to here for smaller items is cheaper than what we can ship those same items back to Europe from America. It's crazy. So check it out, LiberDaemonica.com, for all your conversion needs. And before you leave, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you can be the very first to like and comment on all our videos.